Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, November 1st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, this price you see over here will be changing, and then the candlestick you see right there will also be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, SONN, very, very impressive move today, big volume. Sure, the price has formed a downwards channel here in the latter part of the day, but the key question here becomes, what happened prior to this downwards channel? And what happened prior was you had this big upwards momentum move like that. And in factoring that movement, what we actually have is a bull flag pattern. So I understand that in the very short term, it can feel bearish, but taking a step back and considering the day in its entirety, as of now, we just have a bull flag pattern. And you got to think that a lot of people are watching that pattern, which offers no guarantees. But does it become valid? Does it become plausible to think that if the price can recover back to the top part of that pattern and then get the break up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional prime pressure? That's certainly a plausible outcome that could occur. But again, no guarantees, but nobody could accuse you of, just thinking randomly to think that that sort of break could create, another move to the upside. So if you like to play this price range, if you like to play bull flag patterns, here you go. Next one here, Meta, or betterwise known as Facebook. And to give some credit where credit's due, on Friday, there was a there was a nice bounce that was underway. Price came down and was starting to work its way upwards. However, this morning you can see that, and to be fair, at least it didn't, gap up and behave like the price was going to be strong and then come back down. The price gapped down, actually gapped below that trend line, and then from there, just basically straight down the rest of the day. So another very rough move here for Facebook, and it is what it is, but it is still a very, very popular stock. And when popular stocks get beat down like this one has, so let me just factor in, and that's why I have the chart way over, because when you do it like that, just because of that massive gap down, it throws proportions off. But when you have very popular stocks that get beat down, again, it doesn't offer a guarantee, but it does offer a more than plausible thought process of, there can be some very worthwhile bounces in the upwards direction. And that's where, in my mind, this level right here is interesting, right at that $94 mark right there, where if the price can break above there, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done, but that would be a first good step in potentially creating a bigger move back to the upside. Because to be fair, it's nice that the price is leveled off here, gone sideways. So does that mean that this is for sure the bottom? If only trading were that easy. If only I could say, hey, the price has gone sideways. Okay, guaranteed bottom. Not quite that easy. But again, it circles back to, is it at least rational to think that this could be a bottom for me and that this could be the start of a move back to the upside? Yeah, from a trading standpoint, absolutely. So if you like to play stocks that are popular and that have gotten beat down, then definitely, in my mind, keep an eye on that $94 mark. Next one, TLRY, and a very nice mover here. And once again, goes to the whole idea of nice patterns. And when a lot of people are watching the same pattern, doesn't guarantee anything, but you can assume that there could be some very worthwhile type movements. So in this situation, what we have is our area of resistance up here. We have an area of support down here, and then we have a nice momentum move right here. So this isn't a bull flag pattern because there is no downwards channel right now. But this is, and let's make it more visual, put our golf ball down here. This would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So same general concept. Guaranteed, no, but is it plausible to think that if the price turns around, comes back up to that top part of the pattern, and then can get the break up through it, that break could create additional buying pressure? Certainly a valid thought process to have. So again, if you like to play these bullish type patterns, the previous one was the bull flag. Here we're looking at a bull pennant down in this price range. Then definitely keep an eye on, especially when it's TLRY, which has been a very, very popular stock over the past few years. And who knows, maybe it's starting to come back to life again. So we'll see what happens. Next one, ACOR, and as of now, this one is, at least in my opinion, a pretty straightforward premise, and it's all about getting this trend line in play here. And I don't mean to state the obvious, but again, just to set up the general premise and context, big volume just absolutely exploded this afternoon. So now it becomes a question of, okay, is this big volume some sort of leading indicator to even more strength? But of course, you have to define, quote unquote, more strength. Because if you don't do that, then those are just empty words. But that's why I love charts, because they allow you to take phrases such as that and then make them more definable. And in my mind, that's where this trend line here is very helpful, meaning if the price can go sideways, come back up here, and again, then get the break, then in my mind, that would be a point where it becomes plausible to think that break could create that much more upside buying pressure. And then we have an area of support down here. So for those of you that maybe like to play more so pullbacks, an interesting level down there at 98 cents. And then just to convert this back into an overall pattern. So we have resistance, we have support, we have momentum move right here, we have our golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So this one is even cheaper than the previous ones, but for those of you that do like those bull pennants, here you go. Next one here, AMC, and this is a little tricky to talk about because depending on your perspective is going to dictate, is a chart good or bad? I mean, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you were buying right there, or maybe you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 25 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad because in all actuality, it was basically a big gap and trap. Price gapped up, ran all the way up there, and then came down the rest of the day. However, if you care about more so the big picture point of view, then even with all the drama, even with all the big price swings, when you stop and look at things from a bigger picture point of view, whoops, let me get this part from behind my ugly mug. Even more so. There we go. But when you look at things from the bigger point and look at where these lows up, so you have a low there, you have a low there, a low there, a low there, a low right there. You can see that these lows do keep getting higher and higher. And if you envision those as stair steps are still progressing in the upwards direction. And that does show progress. That does still show an overall uptrend. Once more, I'm fully aware that if you bought right there, then yeah, you don't really care as a day trader, then you don't really care about these stair steps. But that's why I'm trying to make a big differentiator between some sort of, day trading approach or somebody's approach that cares about more so the big picture point of view. So yes, today in and of itself, very disappointing day, a gap and trap. But think about that word today, as in one day. Looking at multiple days as we're doing here, you can see that the price is still trending upwards. So let's see if the price can continue to build those higher stair steps for the remainder of the week. Real quick, wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to help make good decisions as a trader and build consistency, then I want you to get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage. So like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen, then definitely get signed up for the free training. Next one here, EFSH, and I like this one because it showed a lot of strength today. And yeah, there is a pretty big downtrend here, but you have a very well-defined breakout point here via that level. And then I suppose I probably should have put this one in a different location of the watch list because you've seen this dynamic here. So yes, there is a downtrend right now. Let me change that to green to represent the bottom part of the trend and more so the support level. So yes, downtrend right now, that is true. But what was happening before the downtrend? You got the big gap up right there. So we do have a bull flag pattern. So if you like to play bull flags, then, and I'll probably keep repeating myself, there are no guarantees, but is it valid to think that if the price comes up to that level and breaks up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? Yes, that is certainly a plausible outcome that very well could play out. So if you like to play this price range and those bull flag patterns, here you go. Next one, CGC. I should have put this one by TLRY because it is one of these marijuana stocks, but same general idea. Very popular stock from the past, and these ones have made big movements, and with a volume increase today, worth at least keeping an eye on because if this is indeed the start of something even bigger than what already happened today, then yeah, we could be looking at this price right now on Friday and saying, wow, remember when it was down below $4? So we'll have to see what happens with it, but there are a couple of well-defined levels here. Key level of resistance right up there at 385, and then you factor in the support trend line down there. So again, change that to green to represent more so the support dynamic. And then to make this all the same color. Resistance, support, momentum move, golf hole down here. Have yourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, if you like this price range, here you go. And as you're seeing, there sure are a lot of bull flags and bull pennants around the market today. Next one here is CCL, and doing this one for one reason alone. And let me be very clear. As I draw this line, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply this is some sort of great discovery on my part. I assure you, people all over the place have drawn this line just like that at $9 and let's make sure I got that right, 13 cents. And I make all those comments because when a lot of people are watching the same level and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So does it mean that it's for sure going to, make a big explosion? No. But to think that if the price comes up there and breaks through that level, it's very rational to think that you're going to have a bunch of people buying just because, hey, I'm a breakout player. Oh, hey, look, that's breaking out. Oh, I'm supposed to be buying, and people will buy just because of that. And you have just such a well-defined level, especially after today. I mean, look at it. Rejected, 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 rejected. I mean, multiple times in and of itself today, which makes sense because when you factor in back here, well, that was a rejection point from last week. So 913, definitely going to be a very, very watched level. So we'll see if there is some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy that comes about with it at some point this week. And I did put this one strategically in the watch list because same exact premise. So I don't want to spend a bunch of time here and just repeat myself. But instead of being $9.13, we're looking at Tesla here, TSLA. It's all about that red line, which is at 231. Now I realize the price didn't hit it exactly today, but point here being still got within that general vicinity. So keep an eye on 231. And if you like to play breakouts and if you like to try to, take advantage of potential self-fulfilling prophecies, then in my mind on Tesla 231, that it's definitely going to be a very important level. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that allows you to make money if you believe that the NASDAQ market as a whole will rise in value. It just allows you to get involved at a much cheaper price. And one of the most popular ETFs out there, always leading the market. And when I say market, the overall market in total volume. And with today, a little bit of a gap down, but nothing drastic. However, in the very near term, there's a nice little pattern here that's formed. And, once again, I'm not trying to impress anybody, not trying to imply this is a great discovery. Got to think that a lot of people are watching this little wedge pattern here and wondering, who's going to ultimately win out of this battle that was back and forth today? You had the price. Let me get this in play there. So we had the price throughout the course of the day, yes, putting in lower highs, which is bearish, but at the same time, putting in higher lows, which is bullish, which is creating this wedge pattern right here. So that's really just the big question is who is ultimately going to win out? Are the bulls going to win out with a break to the upside? Are the bears going to win out with a break to the downside? All those, nobody knows that for sure, but what the common denominator here is that this is a very well-defined pattern and you can structure quite a few different trade plans around it based on your personal strategy. But yeah, this one, very popular, very watched. So let's see what happens with this pattern. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free training. Like I said, it'll be later this week. Thursday, November 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort required to structure these watch lists, then please do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment, say hi, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow. So thanks for your hanging out. Get signed up for that free training. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Everybody, thanks. Take care.